Yaga! Луплять голову колони. Бобік швидко займається. У хробачні починається шарварка. Отакий конвой купікнувся.
The destruction of a Russian military convoy by Wormbuster and Climateam teams of the Magyar Birds drone unit. In addition to 4 units of equipment, the occupiers' manpower was also eliminated by Robert Magyar, Baba Yaga.
Отакий конвой тупікнувся. Перекурити стали хробаки. УАЗ, Мотолига, Шишига і БМП. Зараз перевіримо, як хробаки з фаєром впораються. Козаки Кліматим вже тут. Yaga! Луплять голову колони. Бобік швидко займається. У хробачні починається шарварка. Метушня, іншими словами. А поки Мотолига, команда Вормбастер птахів Мадяра, паралельно працює. Пов! Гарне влучання у відкритий люк. Ближче подивимося, Мотолига вигорає зсередини. Наступний захід козаків Кліматим у хвіст колони. Томаш! Гарний піздюль. Клімчика козаки заходять на Шишигу, яка перевозила БК. Нана! То ви вже спочатку бачили, але так гарно бехнуло, що з пісні, як то кажуть, слів не витягнеш.
The United States government has imposed a large-scale package of sanctions against companies operating the Russian Shadow Fleet and their vessels. The Office of Foreign Assets Control of the United States reported about this on its website. The sanctions list includes 2 Russian oil companies, Surgutneftgaz and Gazprom Neft, and Russia's largest shipping company, Sovcomflot. Along with Sovcomflot, 69 of its vessels were sanctioned by the United States. In addition, the insurance companies Alfa Strakovani and Ingostrak and a number of international companies involved in the sale of Russian oil were sanctioned. In total, 180 vessels of the Russian Shadow Fleet were sanctioned by Washington. Reuters news agency, which obtained access to this sanctions list before it was made public, reported that the oil market has already reacted by increasing prices by 4%. In December, it was reported that the European Union adopted the 15th package of restrictive measures in response to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. It imposed sanctions on 52 ships of the Shadow Fleet and for the first time imposed full sanctions on Chinese companies. Sanctioned vessels are denied access to EU ports and a wide range of maritime-related services are blocked for them. The sanctions target tankers from non-EU countries that circumvent the oil price cap or support Russia's energy sector, and vessels responsible for the transportation of military equipment for Russia or involved in the transportation of stolen Ukrainian grain. The Shadow Fleet includes more than 1,000 old and poorly maintained vessels without proper insurance and with non-transparent ownership structures. These are vessels based in friendly jurisdictions and flying convenient flags. They have a dead weight of more than 100 million tons, which is about 17% of the global oil tanker fleet. Revenues from oil sales provide authoritarian actors with resources to implement nuclear programs, develop modern drones and missiles, provide ongoing financial and material support for terrorist activities of their regional proxies, and pay for the services of transnational crime networks. These tankers use deceptive tactics to conceal the origin of their cargo, creating risks of environmental disasters and financial losses for coastal countries. Since February 2022, more than 50 incidents involving these vessels have been recorded from the Danish Straits to Malaysia. Russian Shadow Fleet's tanker goes adrift off German coast, reports Norddeutscher Rundfunk. The Panama-flagged tanker Aventon, with approximately 99,000 tons of oil on board, has lost control and is drifting in the Baltic Sea near the German island of Rügen. The tanker was built in 2006 and is on the list of Russian Shadow Fleet vessels compiled by Greenpeace. It was on its way from Ust-Luga port in Russia to Port Said in Egypt. The reasons for the loss of control are still unknown. According to the publication, Bremen Fighter Emergency Tug and the Arkona multi-purpose vessel were sent to the tanker due to the threat of a storm. Imagine if those 99,000 tons of oil spill into the sea. Some time ago, I said that Putin is like a cancer that spreads quickly without treatment. Sadly, these metastases of Russian propaganda are growing and manifesting themselves in different places. Kostadin Kostadinov, leader of the Bulgarian ultranationalist Revival Party, stated that there's nothing more logical than the return of southern Bessarabia, which is a part of the Odessa region, to Bulgaria, and also neighboring Macedonia should become one state with Bulgaria. Bulgarian authorities should definitely condemn his words. When the whole system collapses, when the whole organism is sick, everything will unfortunately lead to a general collapse if the cause is not solved and treated. It's strange that some haven't realized this yet, especially here in Europe. These are not political games. These are real issues of life and death. Everything is very close, real, and fast. The Ukrainian Navy has officially deployed US-made RAB Riverine patrol boats for the first time. The EU advises airlines to avoid flights to Moscow and St. Petersburg due to safety risks. The warning cites threats to civilian planes from poor Russian coordination with civil aviation and the risk of Russian air defenses activating in response to missiles and drones. Serbia has broken several contracts with the Russian military industry due to its inability to supply weapons. The chief of the General Staff of the Serbian Army, General Milan Mojsilovic, stated this in an interview with local media, Novosti. Mojsilovic said that deliveries of contracted Russian weapons are virtually impossible at the moment, but Serbia is trying to find a way out of the situation through diplomacy. He added that some of the contracts were broken, and some were postponed in the hope that the situation would stabilize, allowing their implementation. It can be assumed that this refers to the Pantsir-S air defense missile gun systems, the purchase of an additional batch of which was announced by the country in 2021. In addition, it is likely that the Russians did not have time to deliver some of the Kornet anti-tank missile systems. At the same time, the chief of the Serbian General Staff said that due to the proliferation of Soviet-era and Russian-made weapons in the world, Serbia can continue to maintain and operate existing weapons. Serbia is actively buying Soviet-era and Russian-made weapons, including aircraft. In September 2024, Militarny reported that the first Mi-35 PN attack helicopters purchased from Cyprus were put on combat duty in Serbia. The helicopters were overhauled by UTVA and received serial numbers from 201 to 206, and the full series is likely to start with 35201. In early 2024, it was reported that the Serbian Ministry of Defense had decided to purchase used BTR-80A armored personnel carriers from Hungary. In total, Serbia will purchase 26 BTR-80A armored personnel carriers, which Hungary received from Russia in 1996 to 1999 as part of compensation for the state debt from the Soviet era.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.